way to get into the vibrations of love and appreciation?
What is the best way to get to the vibration of love
And appreciation.
and appreciation? I think to a certain degree is a choice. It's a conscious choice that you can make. Ultimately, in every moment of our life, at the roots of any choice, there is just choosing love or fear. So you can consciously choose love in every moment of your life. But you can also get there by just allowing yourself to be fully who you are and work every day on being as much as possible yourself. Because that's all you need to do, just be yourself. What does it mean to be yourself? I guess to be yourself, it means to reach the deepest, the core of your inner truth and bring it up into the game of living and take action about it. So we have to have the courage to go within ourselves and bring whatever we find on a regular basis every day, whatever we find, we bring it outside so we can look at it, we can play with it, and we can decide what to do with it. So in that way, you speed up your self-knowledge, the knowledge of yourself. You start to speed up the idea of knowing who you are. And I think that everybody, when they go deep into knowing what they are, what they find is love. Because we all come from love. I think that's a common ground for all of us, ultimately. Some of us has many layers of separation in all kind of shape and forms. They've been traveling for such a long time, for millions of years, or billions of years. And so they've been experiencing all kind of situation. And that might create a lot of interesting and fascinating foundings when we go deep inside ourselves. But eventually we will reach a place where there is love, because that's our raw material. That's what I believe we are. We are love. Because there is nothing else than love. Ultimately.
Is love enough then?
Mm-hmm.
Is love enough for us then?
Is love enough?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has to be enough, because there is nothing else. The difference is that we start as love, but we don't know about it. And so we start a spheric journey, and at the end of this journey we are back of being love, but now we are aware of being love. So now we are much more vibrant. It's like if you want to be aware, if you are only light, you don't know, because you don't see anything. And so if you are only darkness, you don't know that either. I suspect that light and darkness ultimately are the same thing. They both are nothingness. You don't see, if you don't see anything else but darkness, or you don't see anything else but light, you don't see anything. The only way to have the experience of a self-experience is by starting to creating contrast through a sense of separation. At least that's how it works in this universe. There are probably other universes that operate with different parameters. But this one seems to be very much about polarity and separation. So you start by being oneness, but you don't know what it means to be oneness. You are oneness, but you don't know what it means. In order to know what it means to be oneness, you enter a field where there is no oneness, there is polarity and there is all kinds of separations. And now you can say, now I know what oneness is, because I am experiencing the idea of non-oneness. And so now, knowing what non-oneness is, I kind of get to know what oneness is. Oh, that's interesting. So now I know who I am. And so, it seems like life experiences in this reality where we are, he has the choice, the favorite choice of expression of life here is spheric. Everything is like a spiral, right? And so we start from not knowing and we spiral back to knowing, and then we start again and we start and we go back. But every time, because it's a spiral, we don't do exactly the same journey. We do it, we do still a spiral, but we are now in a different distance from where we were before. So we have the same experience, but from a different point of view, from a different level of appreciation. Yeah. And the spiral seems to expand more and more and more. So we keep growing appreciation. And every time we go back, we have a higher level of appreciation about being one. And then we start again in a contrast, and then we come back and we have more a sense of what oneness is. I believe that the experience that we are living right now, the spiral is very narrow, and the degree of contrast is really, really high. I don't think it gets much higher than this. I don't think it gets more contrasty than this. I could be wrong, but I think we are almost at the bottom here, right? And that's why completing this circle and go back to oneness will make us quite a remarkable conscious beings, because the degree of contrast that we have been experiencing, the degree of separation is to the point that now we are really, really aware what it means to be oneness, more than most of other situations of beings that are spiraling in a different circle. Yes.
Yeah, I just you know, there are a lot of sayings. For example, you know, these New Age quotes, let's say, like love is who you are, right? But I also see a lot of people like want something practical. So what you know, I don't know. What is this? It's like air. I cannot do anything with these words. So so I guess a lot of people, you know, want to hear what something tangible. What are the steps that I can do to, you know?
Well, until you want to hear from an outside force, an outside information, still is not practical. If you want it practical, you just jump in the water and start to swim. Then you will have your experience. Rather than collecting a lot of information about how to swim, just jump in the water and start to swim, and then you will have your full experience. We are here to have a physical experience, and so until we don't crystallize our imagination, our thoughts and our feeling into an action, it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. So philosophy, for example, doesn't mean anything until it crystallizes into an action. Then it become, from philosophy, it become a cellular knowledge because you experience it, so you become it. And now you don't even need to talk about it. Because once you master something, you don't need to talk about it. Usually when people talk about a lot about something, it means that they're still chewing on it. They're still not quite there yet. They're talking about it a lot. But once they gain the experience, there's not so much to talk about because now you are the experience. So once you become the experience, you don't feel any interest in keep talking about it.